Hey everyone. Yep, nothing interesting tonight. We're just gonna do some boring slop work, tying up loose ends, cleaning up things, trying to make room for new jobs. Or at least try and induce the universe to send me some new interesting jobs. Oh, come on. Boot. Thank you. I'm just trying to send a couple of messages to some people. Just so that I don't miss out. So I don't have a whole bunch of, you didn't tell me you were going live. Actually, some people just don't get the message fast enough from YouTube, and I try to give them a bit of a heads up, give them a chance to actually catch on. Alright, that can go down the ground. First thing we're going to do is put back together that HP that we had the other night. Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. There's the keyboard one. That. Oh, crikey, what a mess. Okay, let's go to the overhead. Yep, what a mess. Let's lift up the camera a little bit so we can maybe get a little bit more perspective on how trashy my workbench is. Yeah, why not? There we go. Get this thing back together. I got the approval from the person to do what I had to do. Let's see. I suppose I may as well. What kind of crazy assembly have they got here for the fan? Jim, you're whinging, mate. What is this fan assembly construction? Is there even a... Okay, we've got a radiator here. That's a very different kind of design, so I'm actually going to go even further than before, yank it apart a bit more. Crikey. Oh wait, this is the... I'm going to use a different container so I don't mix up the screws that are for this process with the screws for the rest of the process. Come on, you guys should just lift up. Great, that's when you start breaking off connectors from the board. Looks like D-Wig's got a problem with his keyboard repeating. Are you going to stop for smoko after a few jobs? Ha! It's 11:15 at night, I don't think so. Flush the radiator, yes indeed. $10,001 secret screws in places you're just not expecting. Okay. So now this screen cable should just... You should be able to just lift them up and they pop off. But that is requiring... Well, that's just the plastic at least. It fills me with a sense of dread. Okay, looks like the RAM has to come out. Let's see if we can do a cheat, which is just you twist it around and flip it over. Alright, so there's a bit of fluff on there. Interesting style of them doing it, just the open chassis, no sealing. So we can just pretty much just brush that out. It'd make an A1932 proud. Actually, this represents basically the worst of both designs. Alright, well, that radiator's cleared now. Twist it back in the opposing direction. I might just put my fume extractor on full blast and flick up some more dust. Hey Harry Crawford, Ollie's here too. Yeah, Jim, that was deliberately timed. It let you down and then brought you back up. Hey Sonia, yeah, JB. No, it's not 100% perfect dust free, but it's good enough. I'll clip off this excess plastic since it didn't even do anything anyway. Hey Tony, a wild stream appears. Quite indeed. Okay, let's get these screws back in while we can remember. It's always rather terrifying how when you're disassembling these things you go, I'll remember that. I'll remember that. Oh, that's easy. How can I forget that? No worries. And then 10 minutes later you go, I have no memory of this screw. Hey Alexi. Okay, so that's done. Time to put the interesting things back in. Let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Not sure if this had a bias on it. Yes, it does. It goes that way. The bias being a cutout for the connectors. Okay, we don't need that anymore. AK Invix and ZX, load 'em. 101 Mark Harris. 101 Mark Harris, I don't recall your name. Why is that? You seem to know I'm here. Hey Sudi. Stuart. Menzies. Looks like everybody's jumping in. Hey Woodsy. Come on, get in there. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for letting me know about the optical cable. I appreciate that. So easy to get things like that forgotten. Hi Pedro, how are you feeling after your day of exploits? Conning people out of their wholesome MacBook products for super cheap prices. You should be ashamed of yourself, good sir. The only way you can really repent is to send those toxic devices up to me and I'll dispose of them appropriately. Although you can send that 2011 off to whomever you like but me. Okay, we had a daughter board here, didn't we? Yes. Ah, there it is. Kevin Whitehouse. This is going to be a little bit of fun, but not a lot, where I wasn't able to prep a lot of this drive because the damn Windows is in one of those hibernated states, so you can't shift the partitions around or expand or shrink the partitions much while it's in the suspended state. So what you have to do is you have to transfer it to the drive, and then you've got to boot from the drive, and you do your shutdowns and all that sort of stuff and turn off that stupid fast shutdown that Windows has. And then you can actually go and do the cleanup and expansion of the partitions that you want to do. It's a tad frustrating. I'm just knocking off dust off the other ones. Our beloved, annoying top deck. It is Joseph King, yes. We got approval to go ahead and get it all up and running. The hard drive did indeed have bad sectors on it, so it was jolly good that we went along and checked that. Because otherwise we'd sort of go, there you go, your computer's all running. It was just a $60 power brick or whatever. And then a few weeks later they lose all their data, and and you tell them, well, that's gonna be $300 and you don't get your data back. And that's usually at the point at which customers will rage at you. Okay, that's the keyboard one. Where do I get the feeling? No, I don't have an extra. Okay, that's that. Also, it is nice having a keyboard that you can fold out the flex like this. What's going on here? You get a lot of keyboards these days where you barely have like half an inch to work in and somehow fold the flex down. This one's definitely a replacement. You know, we haven't even removed the 3M tape from it. Not going to bother with that either. Okay. Squeeze the ends in first, and then do the clippies at the top. COKA, you can just ask. One of the first things you learn is you don't need to ask, you just ask. By the way, regarding that Samsung phone, I did I managed to get the Odin thing onto it, but unfortunately it has not resolved the issue. So I got the new firmware on, but it still is not working properly. So that's a bit of an unfortunate thing. Okay, where did that RAM stick go? Did I put the RAM stick in here? I did too. Well, lucky I put it in the right place. I was able to just drop it right back out. I forgot those flat screws. Woodsy, I'd like to send you a MacBook Air keyboard and trackpad. Stop working, have no idea out of my league to fix it. You mean the MacBook Air itself is having the trouble, or the keyboard and trackpad? Because if the keyboard and trackpad have stopped dying, we basically just toss them. There's nothing you can really do. But if the computer itself is what you're referring to, then yeah, okay, we'll probably fix that. Could be something else causing it. Yeah, we almost forgot to put these flat screws in. Christian, what's happening to the phone is that it just it's trying to do a Android update, an OS update, I think. And so it boots and it says optimizing applications, and it goes up to like 66 applications, and then it reboots, and it just keeps doing that non-stop. So there's something amiss with the user partition. Perhaps it's out of space. I don't know for sure. Lexi, it's one of those days I could probably try to ignore for the future. Which is why I'm down here now, just trying to get through the grunt work, as it were. Get the things out of the shelves, all the half-finished jobs, try to clear them up. Now, I did have a fix this morning where, I don't know if you remember, there was a 1502 and it was fairly corroded, and it came in with display issues, or at least they were saying display issues, but it turned out it was the lid sensor that was faulty. And we thought we fixed up the lid sensor, and we had, but we forgot to actually add one more wire to that setup, and that was the wire from the actual hall sensor down to the SMC lid resistor. And I only picked that up because during testing, when I shut the lid down, the light stayed on. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. And then I realized that's what must be going on, is I don't have a signal from the hall sensor being sent through. And the only reason why it's working is because we fixed up the other portion, and the other portion by default holds that line up high via 342. And because of that, it ensures that at the worst case scenario the display should stay on. And of course there's not much chop though if people want to shut the lid and have it go to sleep. Anyway, fixed now. Just wait for the 1708. Yeah, that's where I've got to clean up this workshop, so I've got room to do things like that. Because if I don't, I'm just going to start cramming things in the wrong... Yeah, it's just not going to be good. Okay, I figured you were in the wrong spot. I've only got 12 slots in this room, and I almost always seem to be running out. And it's not because I will have... it's just they get used up by so many jobs waiting on parts or stuff that you need to come back to next week or something like, so you think, I don't know what's wrong with it today, so we'll try it tomorrow with a fresh mind. Lock. Has the new multimedia? It has not, and I'm starting to get a little bit irate with that because they've taken the money out of my account for about a week now, and it's still not here, and I'm like, it hasn't even been allocated to an order yet. So yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit niggly with that. If they haven't allocated it by tomorrow, I might call them and say, oi, what's going on, eh? Come on, mate. It's truth. You had my money for a week and you ain't send me nothing. Flippin' horrible of you, buddy. Mate. Alright, stop talking like an idiot. Hey Ed. Hey Nuno. Computer works fine, but trackpad and keyboard are not working at all. Oh, okay, yeah, sure thing, Woodsy. Have you got my, I want to scratch my face, but the microphone's in the way. Have you got the job submission form website? Just send in the job there. Put in the comments your YouTube name, Woodsy, so that I click and realise, oh yeah, that's Woodsy, or however you would prefer your name pronounced. Okay. Hey Tony W. I ordered one back order myself and what? You've got yours already? Didn't I order mine before you? Man, now where'd you get yours from? Was it Element 14? If you got yours from Element 14 and you've already got it, that just annoys me. Oh, Farnell UK. Okay, well that makes more sense. Alright, that's fine. So they're probably just still shipping it from the UK to me. But that is annoying because I wanted to get into coding the software for that. And the software hopefully shouldn't be too much drama because I should basically just take the power supply software and change the commands for it and it should be alright. Alright, yeah. Okay, so this is working, but I don't know the password or anything like that. That's alright. I will now take this upstairs, like I put it in the stack of machines that I take up, and then when I get upstairs I'll boot it into Ubuntu and I'll sort the partitions out and then I'll log into this. I'll probably have to activate the administrator account and go through and just clean up everything. So that's working fine now. Shut down. The performance is not substantially better than what it was on the hard drive because these are quad level SSDs, so they're comparatively cheap. You're only a little bit more expensive than hard drives, but they just don't have that performance of the TLC or dual level ones. Things like the EVOs are much better in terms of speed. Alright, so that gets put aside now. And we look at what we're going to do next. What a messy desk. I better put that wire away. Yep, okay, that's fine. Okay, next. Yeah, let me just look at my queue and see what I want to attack. It's scary how if I didn't have the stickers, I actually wouldn't know what the heck I was dealing with. Okay, I've got a silver 1708. I wonder if I've got another silver 1708. Oh. Hello, junk pile. Sorry, everybody's wondering who the heck Paul's talking to. Things you find in your own junk pile that you forgot you had, like, hey, look, I got a spare 1466 that I never knew I had. What are you? You're a 1502. You're also a 1502. Alright. You're a complete disaster. Hey, you're a 1708. But you're a smoky 1708. You're not a light grey one, damn it. I need to get a replacement keyboard deck for a 1708. Looks like that one's going to have to be ordered in. Because I really am in no mood to be replacing a deck out of those things. Oh look, I'll be honest, I've never tried. But I can't imagine it's going to be that much fun. Just something about it just says to me, I'm not going to be any fun at all. Do not attempt. Do not attempt this at home. Alright, let's put back together this. What have we got? Oh, it's already started already, has it? All the trolly nutheads. Do you work on iMacs? No, I don't. Not really, anyway. Too expensive to ship to me. Sudi, with the multimeters, they should be coming through courier systems, not the postal system. Okay. So what was the dealio with this? This was the SMC. Right, now I remember. This was the SMC one. The one that we did the other night, and I put the 165 SMC instead of the 3437. Haha. That was fun. Fun enough to make me cry. Okay, so this is my chassis. We need to take the board out of here. There's a pin there that's corroded on the display. We'll have to look at that. Okay, that's theirs. Didn't they also have a bad... this is what's bad about stopping jobs halfway through. You forget every damn thing. Even if you've got a reasonably good note-taking system, you almost always end up not taking the critical notes that you need. You fill it up with all the notes that you don't need. It wasn't really your fault. I wish I could blame you all, but unfortunately not this time. Okay. Yeah, we've got a dent in that fan, so that's going to have to come up a bit. I don't know why 1466 fans get dented so often. Okay. I guess they are a bit flimsy. Alright, so we'll try this again in the original chassis. And if it comes up alright, then I'm going to put through the ultrasonic, so you all get to have a bit of ASMR there. Might have 5 or 6 for disposal. IMAX, JV. Whoa. What sort of year and size are they? Hey, Warren. You always figure you remember the little things, and those are the ones that you forget and remember about the time you figure it out again. Yep, that's about it. Yeah. Quite right you are, Warren. Just taunting my wife. As a good husband should. Watch, I'm gonna cop some flack now. In part, that's also why it's good for me to just live record everything. So when I get up in the morning, I probably should just start live recording everything. But even then, there's probably going to be subtleties that are missed out. Come on, get in. Is your job description, Damon, not active? I'm deliberately not running it at the moment. Because I'm just being haphazard with what I'm doing, you know. The jobs are flicking back and forth pretty quickly, so it's going to be more of a nuisance than not to keep it current. I would have liked to have had a system that would just keep an eye on the actual video input and find the QR codes in there, but I couldn't find anything that was effective that didn't perhaps also kill the CPU. Hey Lattice. Older than 4 years, some big ones can get delivered. JV, send me that list. You've got my email address? I'll just type it in here. There you go. Okay, we're going to leave that SSD out. What was stopping us before, though, from properly testing? Other than the fact that the SMC was... Were there keyboard issues, or... No, see, I can't remember squat, and that was only 2 nights ago. Eagle Farm Airport. Oh, cool. Did I plug the battery in? Hey, Michael Kiram. I did not plug that battery in. And I will put one screw for the chassis itself. Stop that bottom plate flying off. All the ice cream freezes the brain. Yeah. Penny, I could disagree with you. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if I ran ASD. I ran MRI from what I remember. Not that I mean, it's close enough. But I do actually want to run my proper, my proper max. Oh, now I remember what was wrong. I think it was the fact that this is probably APFS and this, that's right. And this did not, that we know of, handle APFS. Now it all becomes clear. I was blind before, but I can see now. Join the Getting Older Club. Yeah, I've been a member for a couple of years, I fear. Cat's out of the bag. Yep. The horse is bolted. Yep, that's right. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, I was going to put my, just a sample drive in there, and I was going to, all becomes clear now. So you get enough busybodies in your life telling you what to do, but it's never what you really need to do. Correct, Steve K. It is the wrong SMC one, which is now the correct one, and we are using one of my solid-state drives. As you can see, it's got mine written on it, and this here is the customer drive. We are not putting that one in. It may sound silly, me being pedantic like that and pointing it out explicitly. But believe me, when you're doing things like data recovery on hard drives, customer hard drives, you have to get that sort of level of pedantic. You have to be that pedantic. Because it can be so easy to accidentally scratch your nose. It can be so easy to accidentally override a customer drive rather than restore data from, or try to attempt to recover data from it. It sounds silly, but it happens. Anyway, fortunately, I've not had the displeasure of actually having it happen, but I've come close. Okay, now I'm looking for a boot stick. Oh, you're gonna You're gonna make me... Please don't make me do this. HP... Wow, that's old. No. I refuse to do it through the internet. It won't even work that way. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go down to the other office and get the High Sierra install USB stick, so it won't be long. Alright, we got a choice. We can have Mojave or High Sierra. Let's go High Sierra. I like High Sierra. No technical reason why, but I just like it. Yep, looks like someone was talking crap. Don't think I've ever heard Paul scream. Ah, sound like Ned Flanders. Hey, look. I really need to just duplicate all these USB sticks. Probably should triplicate them, so I've got 3 High Sierra, 3 Mojave. Yeah, just keep lots and lots of copies of them. Or at the very worst, have their image files on archive somewhere. What's this? Oh, this is MRI, yep. I just realised when I was up there I should have picked up the Ubuntu boot so that I could fix up that laptop while we did this one. So we have a twofer. Do I have Ubuntu boot here anywhere? Anywhere? Oh, I just... no, I've got a complicated scenario. Oops, something cracked. So I find it very, very annoying with Windows how it defaults now to being a fast sleep. So whenever you're trying to shut down properly, you can't, not by default. Yeah. And so you got to really work your way around trying to get the damn thing to shut down properly. So you hold down the shift key, shut down anyway. Yeah, I know you got to disable Windows Fastboot, but you got to get in there first. And if you don't know what the password is of the customer, because they've forgotten to give it to you, you can't even go in and enable the administrator through Linux because you can't mount the file system in a read-write mode. Okay, let's go disk utility. Let's see, internal. Yeah. Alright, okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's a pain, Andrew. It's like it's another 10-15 minutes maybe of messing around just so you can get to where you need to go. Damn you! This format is not following. Untitled amount arrays. Yeah, it's probably been about 12 months since I used a DVD as well. Okay. Petition. Oh, this is gonna fail. I suspect we'll see. There is the clock issue, but then again, maybe this has forgotten the clock time. Ah, good. The time is so far in the past that it's going to let me do this anyway. Apple laptops is easy to break into as Windows. It depends what you mean by breaking into. With the previous ones where they didn't have the APFS encrypted file systems, it was trivial. You just, plug them into another Mac or even a Linux machine with HPFS tools, and you can get APFS tools now as well. It's trivial, but if you have them encrypted, then no, it's not so trivial. I love it how it misleads you. It says about 2 minutes remaining. You think, ooh, I'm going to install in 2 minutes. And it's like, no, you're not. You're only just going to get started in 2 minutes. Oh, is there something on the news? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Sometimes I wonder whether it's faster just to use the internet-based installer. I gotta say, that is one of those sort of touches with Apple and the macOS that I do love, is the fact that you can take basically a blank MacBook, connect it to the internet or have Wi-Fi somewhere, and you can reinstall your operating system. Very handy. Hey, does Schnitzel? Winfield? Yeah, we're just playing catch up here, Winfield. I was trying to see what. I got SysRescue 32-bit. That actually might be useful. FreeDOS. Hey, man. What are you? Useless USB meter. Sim. Oh, this is my sim reader. I don't know how legit this is, but I'm fairly sure I can read SIM cards with this thing. And I might actually have a use for that. I want to see if there is perhaps any contact information on the SIM card of that machine that I can't recover. I mean, obviously the information that's on a SIM card is near useless, and I think it's limited to only, I think, a maximum of 128 entries. That's also a SysRescue. It's, no, I just realised this is going to be for the medium sim sizes, and I haven't got a, yeah, I'll just put it into a new phone and see what happens. Let's see if 32-bit SysRescue can do anything with my Windows setup here. Come on, F9. Boot from EF9. What? Looks like someone does not have legacy boot enabled. Boot. Legacy support. Enable. Yes. 10. Save changes. F9, F9, F9. 2160. Okay. It would appear this does not, in fact, have a bootable system on it. That's okay. Instead of going upstairs and taking 2 minutes, I'm instead going to download a SysRescue image and burn it onto this, because that makes so much more sense. It would help if I actually had some spare USB ports. Okay, let's just put these to the side. Winfield, I was able to flash it, but unfortunately the fault still remained. It looks like, you know, it's in user space, so I don't have a lot of options now. About 11 minutes to go. Okay, let's see. Download. Oh, that's painful. Apple time is still faster than Windows time. I mean, Windows time is like 99%, 10 seconds remaining. 2 hours later, you're almost still at that same point. Higher ends boot CDs using WinPE. I believe it is, yeah. Why is SysRescue so flippin' slow to download? I wonder if I've just got it on my other machine. Let's see. SCP. I don't know what my IP is. Doesn't matter. Sys res star ISO. Boo. Ping workstation TT. I can't remember my workstation number. Yeah, you're 162. It's got to be one of these. Aha. That's the one. It's 166. Shouldn't be changing, but well. And that's when it tells me that there isn't a file called that. That's, yeah. It would appear it's telling the truth. No. No. We're just gonna have to wait that one out. I just can't believe how slow it is. I mean, 230k a second. What am I paying for? Get a new Windows 10 ISO. I believe I've got that one recently. I think it was the 2004 one, was it? So now we've got a war between 10 minutes remaining. Yeah, no, I know, it said 11 5 minutes ago. Versus 10 minutes remaining on SysRescue. Oh yeah, those ISOs, I just don't bother to delete them until I actually need the space again. So that's why you'll see all the old ISOs I've got there. It's just a case of, you never know sometimes when you need to fall back onto one of them for whatever reason. But yeah. Yeah, Office 2003, that's still a usable Office system. People still have that. They have their license keys for it. So you just reinstall it. Yeah, we're down to 9 minutes now. And my SysRescue's on a 7 minutes, so yeah, this is like watching two crippled horses trying to run. Yeah, except I don't like horse racing. Anyway, I was just giving an analogy. Yeah, JV, I know. We got luxury these days. My first modem was a 1200. It was a Banksia 1200. That was for my PCXT machine. And back then you'd have to strategize and plan as to what you were going to download off the local bulletin board before you started. And you hoped and prayed that your Z modem protocol would behave itself through your telex program. Hey Tim, how's it going this morning? When's the big move, or when's the expansion happening, Tim? Oh, you're heading over there right now. Cool. Awesome. Okay, 8 minutes. Oh god. Oh, we've got 3 minutes on Sys Rescue, but then we still got to burn it. That's the problem. Late August. Well, it's not too long away. You know, I mean, it's 6 weeks, barely that. How were you with AT commands doing blind dial? Yeah, you had to most of the time because the dial tone detect would barely work sometimes. So you just put in that pause for a little bit, and then, yeah. Could you not use a mirror closer than Japan? I didn't even look. Japan usually actually has a pretty good connection to us. You're in what I call the hurry up and wait mode. Yep. Hey, Barry West. Now, I mean, Japan is actually quite a short jump from Australia. I'm pretty sure we've got a direct link with them. And Sys Rescue is back to 12 minutes. Oh, this is agonizing. Not that I even need a fiber link. You know, I could have walked up to the other office and back again at least 5 times by now. 7 minutes on the Apple, 5 minutes on the Sys Rescue. Get some new hamsters. I traded the hamsters for pigeons because I'm using the avian carrier protocol. Well, waiting, you could start on a cover design. Ha 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 ha. Oh no. Now that's just going to spawn the want for it. I don't even know if I've got Inkscape on this machine. Let's see. Apt install Inkscape. Sudo apt installs Inkscape. Oh yeah, I do have Inkscape on here already. This is actually the most powerful machine I have in the house. It's a i5-8400, and yeah, I need it for the encoding of the live streams. And it's only just marginally able to do it. FidoNet requesting files overnight from BBS. Oh yeah, that was always fun. And how it would take a week to get messages back and forth. I remember waking up most mornings, go straight to the computer, flick the big power switch, wait for that system to get up and wake up, go through its config sys and its auto execute file, go off, get myself a coffee, come back and it'd be ready and waiting. Usually with your primitive little menu system, like you'd have in the auto execute batch file, you'd dump out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or whatever, all the different programs that you had on your system, like WordPerfect, Lotus, DBase, Turbo Pascal, GW Basic if you were desperate. What else was there? Telex, yeah, gotta have the Telex. So you'd have them all in a quick launch list, which is really just a bunch of batch files. The QEM to get the high memory. Once we got to the state where we were at DOS 6.2 or 4DOS, 4DOS was fantastic. Just unfortunate it sort of came at the end of the year and everybody had moved over then to Windows pretty much. Can you send me one used MacBook? No, I cannot send you one used MacBook, unfortunately. Ah, SysRescue's done. Okay. That's SysRescue 32-bit. I probably shouldn't overwrite that. No, this was the days of Windows 3.1. That was even before 3.11 WFW. Unet boot. USB. Creator. Still 5 minutes on this thing. Why did I make it so difficult? Message. Rescue. SysRescue. Device. SDC. Okay. Then we got 3 minutes to go on this. What's this? €900 for what? DOS for GW, I remember that. Yeah. X-Tree was also really good. And that was obviously the time back when Norton defrag was actually... It's the time when Norton actually was useful stuff. The guy himself was producing the software. Not like the crap these days. Norton 360, it's like virus in a box. And it costs you $70 or whatever a month. No, I think in a year, isn't it? Norton Speed Disk, that's it. And PC Tools, Compress, oh, the memories. To be fair, like I said many a time before, I wouldn't want to go back to it. It's fun to reminisce, but honestly, I'm more than happy with having nice 24-inch screens or bigger screens, you know, video on demand, lots of power, lots of speed, all that sort of stuff. I would not want to go back to that time. Norton Ghost, that was useful, yeah. Tape drive, oh, with those little parallel port or parallel port or floppy drive port, quick QRC80 or QRC40 tapes. They were notoriously bad. I think I've still got a box of them. I do have zip drives as well, the 20 megabyte ones. Zip was a company that basically killed itself in the end. Especially when they started having that click of death issue. Okay, we've got a minute to go on this, and my USB stick is still writing. I love it how with USB sticks you can pump 4 or 5 gigs at it, and the system says, I've got it. And then the USB stick spends the next 5 minutes like going, I'm trying to catch up, I'm trying to catch up, I'm trying to catch up. USB stick write speeds are terrible. What was that very popular file transfer program that they used over parallel port. Laplink, that's what it was. I remember migrating my 20 meg MFM system to a 100 meg IDE system. Very first IDE drive I had was a full height one too. And I was using Laplink over a serial cable, that's right. So I just had 3 wires, or was it 4 wires, telephone wire. And I was transferring at something like 100k bit per second. Now that took all day to do. That was a seriously hack job. Laplink's still around, really? Okay. Oh, they actually did in USB cable. My USB stick's now done. Yeah. Whoop, cracking noises, that's marvellous. Just what you want to hear from your laptop. Oh, you mangy little SOB. It's gone and booted into Windows again. I didn't get to the F9 key fast enough. Australia. Yeah, good on you, Paul. That's really going to work. I didn't know there was such thing as an Australian keyboard layout. What have they got? Kangaroos instead of the OS key or something? Wow, I'm not... It's like it's not reading any USB on this laptop. Ah, now it works. Okay, we're booting sysrescue. Don't transfer. Let's see. What? Apple tries to coax me into giving away my valuable information. Fine. PLD. Okay, I'm in my sysrescue here now, thankfully. Let's see, make do win, mount, device, SDA, 4 win, CD win, yeah, whatever. All this just so we can get the APFS EFI into it so that we can run our test boot system. What a joke. There's got to be a quicker way of doing this. Okay, shut down. Okay, that's done. Just put that aside for the second. We'll get back to this Windows machine. Okay, we've loaded up the Windows folder. We're going to go into Windows System 32 config. Yuck, this is a terrible keyboard. We've got a SAM file, so chnt password SAM. We enable unlock 2. Okay, encrypt. Yes. CD umount. Win. Reboot. Now we should get an administrator account option now. Haha. Administrator access gain. I'm such a hacker. Honestly, when people tell me that they're hackers or crackers or whatever, that's all I think of people doing. At the best, they'll be like, ooh, I got sysrescue 32. I totally cracked into your Windows system. I didn't have to know your password. And you're like, you're so fantastic. I'm absolutely in awe of your skills. That's if they're good ones. Most of them, they'll go, I know your IP address. And you're like, yeah. Oh wow, they've got QuickTime on this. That's really bad news. Got to get rid of that. Okay. First thing to do, disable that damned sleep power thing. Additional power settings. Come on, man. Okay. Choose what the buttons do. Change settings unavailable. Turn off fast startup. Load of crud. Save. Okay. Finally, this person will now actually have a system that shuts down properly. And I think we'll leave it at that, and I'll go through the usual trash. Oh, they got trend on here as well. And TeamViewer, great. So this machine is being hacked and virused already. This PC. Well, I've got 5 gigs left. Oh, now I know what I'm meant to be doing. Yeah, okay. Shut down. The reason why we're going through all this is so that cannot download updates. I don't care. Shut down. Yeah, we don't need to fix the issues. You've got no room, so shut down. The whole point of why we're doing this is so that we can stretch the C drive out to maximize on the drive, because they originally had a 750 gig in here, but I've upgraded it to a 1 terabyte SSD. And so we're going to have another 250 gigs that we can stretch out. Check BIOS for fast start as well. This one doesn't have it that I saw anyway. Not to say you're not correct, but I didn't see it in there when I was looking. Okay, Nick, take care. There is something wrong with this port. And this one feels so sloppy, it's not funny. While I was doing all this, I should have... Oh no, I couldn't. I was going to say I should have been ultrasonicking that board, but then I realised I was using that board in the MacBook. Start X. We're going to get our nice 1990s reminiscing here. Okay, that's G-bit. Is this it? Yep. Unfortunately, they know that a lot of people use it for exactly this purpose, so that's what we're... It's going to... There we go. It's a bit hard for you to see. Let's see if I can... There you go. It's good enough. Yeah, so we need to move this. And move that ultra slim one. I know you can just delete them off, but I'm not going to at this point. And finally stretch this one out. There we go. Proceed. The most painful thing with this program is if you accidentally, say you had a partition at the end there and you actually wanted to shrink it before you moved it. I have occasionally, not very often, but occasionally done it in the wrong way around, and I end up moving like a 70 gig partition and then shrinking it down to 5 gigs or something. And once you start the process, you just have to wait it through. But yeah, you really don't want to be moving large gigs of files around. Do you ever go part hunting at internet cafe part bins? I didn't actually, no. Most of the places where I was, it really... that sort of thing wasn't really around. Yeah, Winfield, as Arnold G said, I use DD Rescue for cloning. I use it by default too because it handles dud drives very well. How does it remap the data? Do you mean when I'm shifting the partitions across? All it's doing is it's just simply, yeah, reading from one block, copying it to another. The old data still remains there, but, you know, because nothing is actively referencing it, it doesn't matter. Hey, Mark Rescue. Odd Apple MacBook there. Yeah, it's the Try-Hard HP Pavilion. When you cloned it, it just does a bit for bit transfer. So whatever's at bit position 0 gets moved to bit, copied to bit position 0 on the new drive, and that's it. And if you've got a drive that's bigger than your source drive, that's fine. It just only uses what it has to. The only thing that you will get with that sort of scenario is if you're using not GPT. GPT. If you're using GPT, it will say you're not using all of your hard drive space and allow you to shift the end marker to the end. But that's about it. Parcel is in Brisbane. Oh, when did it get into Brisbane, Mark? Night Cursor, yeah, this was the no power one, which ended up just being a bad brick. But because they said they dropped it, I took the opportunity to take that hard drive out and test it or clone it into a clone machine, and that's when it came up and said there's bad sectors on it, which didn't surprise me, just purely from age, and then of course the drop itself might have also caused the problem. Okay, so log out. Okay, restart. Alright, so now when we check under Windows, this should show it has about 200 or so gigs free. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of GPT. Maybe it's I just don't understand it enough, but which is actually quite true. I don't. But I run into so many issues with GPT over the years. There we go, administrator in. 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's a chance it might get here tomorrow. Who's the carrier? Is it Toll, UPS, or something like that? Okay, this PC. There we go, we've got 238 gigs free, so that's pretty good going. Properties. Yep. So now we will actually be able to do updates, so I'll go through all that. The person doesn't need to pick it up for a couple of weeks, so it gives me plenty of time to go through and actually clean it up nicely for them. And it'll, yeah, it's not the greatest machine, but it is an i5. The keyboard's awful, but it will do the job. I'm just trying to find out what spec the which i5 it is. I'm not sure it will actually give it to me on this. Properties. i5 4200. So it's not the greatest, but it's also not the worst. 4200, it's a solid series. 8 gigs of RAM in it. No reason this can't work for quite a while yet. Shut that down. And we can get back to the MacBook. Okay, come back here, MacBook. Okay, so now the MacBook, we need to run the test system on it, which is hiding under here. That, get a MagSafe. Now when we boot, we hopefully will see this drive show up. Run adware cleaner. Ha 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 ha. Nope. The only things I usually run are malware bytes. I'll do a one-off pass on that. Occasionally I'll run the Nod online ESET antivirus scanner as well. And then I'll just activate the Windows Security Essentials or Defender, and I'll just leave it at that. ESET actually hired me back in early 2000 to write some of their software. That was a long time ago. That was when they were only a small company. They weren't as global as they are now. They got me to write a... Oh man, how can I be forgetting what they were doing? Oh no. There was a Linux daemon at the time. TNT at this end. Oh, actually no, TNT is pretty good up here. I'm just not sure who exactly is the local carrier for it, but they're usually pretty good to get up here. Hey Chris, how's it going, Chris Long? You're a reseller for ESET. Yeah, so am I actually. I haven't sold a copy for a long time, but I used to always be buying licenses for them, site licenses, because I would bundle it with my email filtering software. So the software I used to sell in the early 2000s, it was a content filter management suite. It would run on Linux with postfix or sendmail, and you would just sit um, either on the gateway or as a proxy, or it would be the company's main mail server. And then you could have all the different access control lists and rules and things like that, inspection for various types of attachments and people, or yeah, all that sort of thing. And then I would be licensing ESET on Linux to do virus scanning of the content of the attachments and the emails. Don't do that anymore. I've still got the software, as in I've still got all the code that I wrote, but it's probably not relevant anymore anyway. That's a bygone era. I think I closed that up around about 2007. It was about the last time I had a customer. I sort of gave up. Funnily enough, I was not allowed to use Kaspersky. There was a licensing issue, and they refused to let me license it for my system. So I was like, fine. ESET was the best one. They had a good pricing on their licensing for the site. Some places just want some ludicrous amounts of money for site license for the filtering only. Yeah. Some places just want some ludicrous. Yep. Okay, that's fine. That works. What else I got to test? Keyboard. I think trend is still around. Yeah. I do kind of miss those days in the sense that some of the customers that I had were really great. Like there was Virgin Australia, um, Palmata, National Foods, National Australia Bank, people like that. And it was good money, but I just couldn't keep up with it. So I just, yeah, sold it all off, as in basically stopped doing it, and burned all my money becoming a model aircraft online store. That was really not a good financial move. Anyway, the mistakes you make in life. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to make that much money, but I didn't think it was going to kill that much money. Absolutely drained the life out of my finances. Run. Live and learn, yeah. I mean, realistically, I couldn't keep up with the pace. It was a lot of very stressful work with the coding. Like I remember at one point there was a company over in Boston who were what were they called? Mailwise, they were called, yeah, Mailwise. And they were using my software, and they were really good business to work with. They were paying me a lot of money to modify my software to suit what they were trying to do. And one day I pushed an update, and that wasn't good. I got a call at about 3:30 in the morning. Everything had just crashed out, and I had to wake myself up. And this was before Git was really a thing. I mean, there were version control systems, but not to the same level of usefulness. And so I remember panicking because I had these. I think it was like they had 1 million clients or something like that, and they were all not getting their emails because my software crashed on them. So when Lewis complains about Flex Boardview, it's really an absolutely trivial matter overall compared to that panic that I felt back then. I don't know what happened to Mail-wise. I think they sold out, which is good. You know, they got some good money for the work they put into it. Yeah, I just remember the guy's name being David or something like that. I'd have to go back in my communication, my emails. He was a good bloke. Yes, Rossman complaints are trivial, especially when you only put one N in his name there. You're lucky he's not around, Chris. He'd beat you senseless like that. Oh, this seems to be going alright. Temperatures are good. Everything seems to be behaving. This is the one with... We're back at the one that had the SMC that we had to fix up. Everything seems quite happy and no problems. See about this Mac. This is one of the low-end early ones. It's a 1.4 gigahertz i5. At least it's got the 8 gigs of memory, so that's good. Louise Rosman, yeah. He's lucky he, yeah, you should actually just leave the U out of his name since he doesn't believe in the letter U. So what's that make it? That would make him Lois Rossman. Lois Rossman. I think that's what we should call him now. Since he hates the letter U. Alright. Okay, well that's running. I think we'll put that into the ultrasonic tomorrow and we'll be good to go. It's already 1:15, so it's probably time for me to say goodnight. Let's shut this down. Hey Clay Freeman, you're on a bit later than usual. I don't know why Lewis hates the letter U so much. Maybe because, you know, without the letter U, like when you talk about honor, there's no U in honor. I mean, it's like, way to get out of being responsible for things. And there's no U in neighbor. Neighbor. He hates the letter L too, yeah, for solder. There's no way I could say solder for it. So solder. Solder. I should call up his phone system one day and just repeat all the words that he doesn't like. Solder, neighbor, honor, color. Solder, neighbor, honor, color. I'm sure they'll love that. They'll probably blacklist my name, my number. Plug that back in. Good. Alrighty. That's that done. So that can get finished up tomorrow and go back to its long waiting owner. Let's see. When you delete any data from any chip hard drive, where does that data go? Barry West, you know, I mean, I don't know what you pitched there on that or what you've been funny or not, but it's an interesting point because data computing at the moment that we do is non-reversible. It's destructive with, as you say, you know, where does the energy go? And there is research into how to do computing in a reversible manner such that we don't lose that data, that energy that's used to maintain the data. So it is a genuine field of research. It's a bit of a complicated one, but let's see. I don't know. Can we call Lewis's number? Call him on an iPhone too. That'll make it even more fun. What's his number? Are they even open yet? Let's see. Prank calling Rossman. Let's see. Rossman Repair Group. $10:47. They are 13 minutes. Okay. Let's see if we can go here. This probably won't work out well because I'll probably be too nervous. I'll say things wrong. Wronger. Let's see. 0011 1347 552 2258. I'm not going to ask if Lewis is there. Because if he's there, then what am I going to say to him? I'll get all shy. Ask if they repair first-gen iPads. I should ask them if they repair MacBook services, Microsoft services. Ask to buy an iPhone 4, the one with the large gigabytes, the white one. You can tell this is Lewis.
Thank you very much, and have a good day. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
Hi there, this is Jack Daniels from Australia. I'm calling to talk to Lewis Rossman, and I'm wondering, does he use the letter U in the word color, neighbor, honor? And what about the letter L in solder? I've heard him say that he doesn't use the letter L in solder. I find that offensive. Please let Lewis Rossman know that Paul Daniels from Australia greatly disapproves. Thank you very much. It has been a happy thing talking to you. Bye-bye. Alright, that's the best I can do on the demand. Very difficult late at night. Prank calling Rossman. Not a good idea. You know that's going to come back at me like 100 times over. I had to start with the southern accent to start with, just to get past their automatic filtering system. I'm sure they've got something like that to stop Australians getting in, because you know they know that people like me exist. So their asterisk system, I think they've got an asterisk system. It detects the Australian accent and sends it to the trash can. He was just discussing these words. Yeah, I had to go in by the secret name Jack Daniels. It works, yeah. You should add that the chat agrees with me. Alright, that's it. Well, we'll see what happens. It's probably not going to do anything to my phone. I might get 100 messages on the phone, I don't know. But I am going to get some ice cream with some chocolate on it, and I appreciate that you all stuck around for what was basically a very boring stream, really. But unfortunately, this is typically what you do most of the day, you know what I mean? You get to see me 2 hours of the day repairing MacBooks on the actual circuit boards, but the rest of the time is doing this kind of stuff, you know, tying up the loose ends, dealing with the Windows issues and things like that. It's not all you know, fun and games. Sometimes it's boring stuff, but that's what happens when you run your own business. You got to do this stuff. All right, let's see if I'm missing anything. It'd be fun if you can get Dave from eVlog to do the same thing. Trouble with Dave is I'm not sure if he can mask his voice at all. I mean, he is so uniquely identifiable with his voice. Pranking Lewis is ice cream worthy. I agree, yeah. All right, I'm out of here. You all take care. I'll catch you later.